Welcome to Ordinary People Podcast, where we talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I am your host, Alan the Great, and this is the Extraordinary Opinion segment. Before I even start the segment, I gotta do something. I have to first apologize to all my loyal listeners who's been listening to this podcast in hopes of learning how to improve and motivate and change their lives to the direction they want to go into. The reason I want to apologize is this. We in society and just as people, we always, when we talk to people about our dreams, what our hopes are, what we like to do, we always have people who always tell us what we need to do. You ever find a person who not only tell you what you need to do, but tell you how to do it? You know, you don't go to school and the teacher don't give you a topic to write about and say, okay, write about the ways the law needs to be changed. They give you structure. They say, okay, write an essay in APA style, or Chicago style, or a different type of style, how to write your paper. They tell you instructions on how to write your paper. Make sure you have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. But see, I'm guilty of giving you guys information and telling you what you need to change, but leaving out the most important part. Telling you how to make these changes. How to make these changes to change your life to go in the right direction. To improve the things that you want to improve. To put your life on that course to success. So today, I'm going to apologize for it and I'm going to make amends for it. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to improve these issues that we have in our lives. How to overcome them. I'm going to start with this. For my listeners who are Facebook friends with me on social media, we had a recent interview with a previous guest. Mr. Bruce Dorsey interviewed me for, he's CEO of Co-Create Life Coaching. And he asked to do a face-to-face interview with me, and we did it on Facebook Live. By the way, anybody who wants to contact me on social media, it's Alan Henry on Facebook. During the interview, the live interview, a question came in from a viewer, and the question they had was, how did you get out of your own way? I didn't answer it on the interview, but I'm going to answer to that listener right now. How I got out of my own way was, I started recognizing what my fears were. That was the first step. I started recognizing what my fears was. I started recognizing what I was scared of. And I realized I was acknowledging it. I was acknowledging what I was afraid of. I was giving it so much power. And I got tired of giving it power. So you know what I did? I started thinking about what are the consequences of failing? What are the consequences of being defeated by this fear that I'm holding on such a high pedestal? What are the consequences of that? Then what I realized was the fear of the consequences was much bigger than what I was fearing. So I started focusing on the consequences and using those consequences to motivate me to get past what I'm fearing, and that roadblock that was stopping me. So how I got my own way was, to put it in simpler terms, is I learned how to get out of my own head. And that's what a lot of us have to do. We have to get out of our own heads. What do I mean by that? A lot of times when we want to do something, want to achieve something, want to make a dream come true, we all have a common issue. We all have a common problem. We all do. Me, you, all of us have a common problem. We have a problem where we claim defeat before we even get started. We already lost before we even got into the game. Think about it. A lot of people come to me, they ask advice on how to approach an interview or how to succeed at getting that job. And the common thing is people are afraid. They're afraid before they go into an interview. And I constantly tell people, you're afraid because you're going in with the mindset and the thought that you're going to fail, that you're going to do bad, that you're going to say something wrong or do something wrong and not get the job. You're going in with the mindset that you're not going to get the job. You already failed before you even went in. Before you even went to sit down for an interview, in your mind, you already failed. You already didn't get the job. So why go for the interview? if that's your mindset. But see, that's the common problem we all have. It's not just with interview. It's with anything we want to do. It's with creating a business, going for a new job, getting on a roller coaster, going into a new relationship. We go into it with these expectations of failure before we even get started. Now, how do we change that? Here's how we change it. You got to get out of your own head. Here's how you get out of your own head. Here's a different point of view of how to look at a situation when you're going into an interview. What I tell people all the time is when you're going to an interview, think about this. This person who's sitting down with you, taking the time out of their busy day to sit down with you, want to hire you. They're going in with a different mindset than you are. They're going in with the mindset that they want to hire you, that you already have the job, and that it's up to you to talk yourself out of getting the job. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, listeners? You already have the job. It's up to you not to talk yourself out of getting the job. When they sat down with you, you already have it. They already expecting you to succeed. They're just hoping you don't come in with that mindset of failure and make yourself fail. If you tell yourself enough in your head that you're going to trip, then guess what? You're going to trip and you're going to fall. You got to change that mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to pass. I can do this. Eliminate the distractions in your life that's telling you otherwise, because believe me, we all have these distractions, whether it's on social media, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, your significant other. There's always going to be somebody that's going to point out the negatives in your situation. It's going to always tell you how you can fail and break down how you can fail. You need to try to filter those people out and find the people who are not telling you that you're going to fail, but telling you you're going to succeed. Then you need to filter them out and find the people that's not going to tell you that you're going to succeed, but tell you the steps to how you can succeed. See, people can tell you all the time what you need to do, what you can do, what you can't do. But what we rarely have is a person that comes to you and tell you, okay, here are the steps to achieving success. Here are the steps to having a good relationship, a long-lasting marriage, to getting that job, to creating that business, to getting that promotion, to graduating school. So you need people who are going to give you those steps to it. You need to find those people and keep those people by your side, because those people are the ones who help you take those steps. It's called having a team. As I previously stated on this podcast, it's very important to have a team. Don't underestimate the importance of having a team. Separating yourself, isolating yourself is dangerous. It's dangerous in multiple different ways. Isolating yourself makes it easier for your enemy to attack you, to get to you. Isolating yourself keeps the people who are there to help you eliminate those tools that you need to achieve success. They help eliminate it. You have to take away the isolation, along with that thought that you're not going to succeed. See, now we're getting steps, right? We're creating steps to get to that level of success that we want to get to. Now we talk about setting goals. I often say set goals, but how do you set a goal? You see what I'm saying? Like, if I told you to set a goal, you'd probably be like, okay, how the heck do I set a goal? Where do I start? Okay, you say create small goals. Where do I start? Where you start at is, you start by saying, okay, I'm going to put a job application in. My goal today is put a job application. Now here's how you create that goal to put a job application. You carve out a time in your day, a specific time in the day, a place where you can go that's quiet. You find a site that you want to go to find the job, or a couple companies that you might want to go to put an application in. And that's your goal. See, that's your plan. That's your goal. That's your outline to a goal. Then you go fill that application out. Have some questions in case. Prepare. Be prepared. Make sure you have your outfit laid out. Another problem is, if you're going for a job interview, for a business meeting, always be prepared for success. If you're going for a job interview, think about this. Don't go in with your street clothes on. Go in with that shirt and tie already on, or that dress and them pearls, or wherever you want to wear. Make yourself look professional. Always be prepared for an opportunity. You never know when the opportunity is going to present itself, so always be prepared. I'd rather be prepared for an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared for it. You understand? Be prepared. That's part of setting a goal to success. So let's recap what we got so far. Eliminate the thought that you're going to fail, and understand that going in that you already have success, and that you already been successful to get this far, and that it's your job, your relationship, your business to lose. We need to eliminate negative people out of our lives and replace them with people who are positive and motivating us. Then we need to eliminate them and replace them with people who are going to give us the information and the steps we need to be successful. Then we need to prepare ourselves for opportunities. Make sure we're prepared for opportunity before we get it. All right, now that we recapped all that and we got all that across, let's keep moving. Here's something I want to say, y'all. I know we all hear it often that, everybody wants to be a boss, and people, you might hear people promoting that you should be a boss, you should want to own your own, and you might hear me on here talk about owning your own business. Okay, let me speak on that for a second. Now, this is not to discourage anybody from creating their own business. Believe me, creating your own business is like buying a house. It's going to give you your own personal self-fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? A peace of mind that you may not already have. Something that's yours that somebody can't just walk in and take away. But what you have to also understand with that comes great responsibility. See, what I learned by being an entrepreneur, creating this podcast, running this podcast, being CEO of this podcast, when something goes wrong with this podcast, it's on me. Like my home. Something goes wrong with my home, it's on me. There's no landlord to call. There's nobody to call. It's on you. You have to make sure that you're mentally prepared for this journey and what's going to come with it. So when people talk about being a boss, understand, more comes with being a boss than a paycheck and a title that you think is going to garner respect from people. You're not going to get respect from people just because you're a boss. Respect is earned, not given. A title doesn't give you respect. That's first thing. Just because you become a boss don't mean them paychecks are going to immediately roll in. It may take time for those big paychecks to roll in. It may take months, years, decades. So keep counting that. Keep that in the back of your mind. And once again, it's not to discourage you from starting your own business, but to let you know, to give you steps and understanding behind what you're going to face. Because see, people tell you should be a boss and you should want to be a boss, but what they don't tell you is all the things that's going to come with it. We go back to it. Having people that's going to give you the steps to get to success. You know what the problem is? You know one of the issues? Someone says to me about 5 or 10 years ago. I'll never forget. A friend of mine said, there's too many people who want to be bosses and not enough workers, and that's one of the issues we face. You know what I said? That's not true. You're lying. That's inaccurate. Everybody should want to be a boss. Everybody should want to own their own. Everybody should do it. Yeah. And then you know what? As I sat down and thought about it, I said, you know what? I couldn't have been more wrong. Because if everybody's a boss, who's going to be the worker? If it's a bunch of chiefs, who's going to be the Indian? Don't underestimate the true value of being a worker. See, in my opinion, that worker is more important than the boss, because that worker, that waiter that may be serving food, he or she is encountering the customer every single day. The most important person to that business, because the owner is not the face of that company. That waiter's the face of that company. That waiter's going to be a difference on whether that customer comes back or not. That customer's perception on the business, not the owner. The customer may never, ever meet or see the owner. But that waiter, that service, that's what they're going to remember. That's what they're going to encounter. Don't underestimate the value of wanting to be a worker, and don't let anybody persuade you that there's something wrong with having a job and working. There's nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with not moving forward, progressing in life. Setting goals, achieving success, no matter what scale it's on. Success is not this one big balloon that's the same for everybody. Success can be different for all different people. Success for one person may be to move up from doing the fries at McDonald's to managing McDonald's. And that may be success for one person, but it might not be success for others. So you got to understand, success comes in different forms, shapes. And it's tailor-fitted for the person who it's for. Success is not one size fits all. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. And you have to understand, and once again, eliminate those people in your life who are trying to persuade you that your dreams and your vision of success is not real. Success can be coming from being a drug addict to being a good mother and father, to come rising out of them ashes to be somebody good, to becoming from going from being a high school dropout to being a college graduate can be your success. Understand, success is not one size fits all. Success comes in different sizes, different shapes, different forms. You have to get success tailor-made for you and for your happiness, not for somebody else's. That's the key to life. That's the key to success. I know we're covering a lot here. But see, my listeners, I have responsibility to you to not only tell you what you need to do, but tell you how to do it. How to achieve success. You're in a relationship and you may have 5 or 6 relationships that failed. You may have a bunch of relationships that failed, didn't go well. Don't allow those failures to define who you are in your future. Sometimes when we have failures, the easiest thing is the hardest thing to do. Meaning, step back from those failures, reassess them. Be honest with yourself. Here's something I have to say to you, listeners. Be honest with yourself. We all have this issue with honesty. What I mean by honesty, people who are drawing up this false perception about themselves so that they don't have to deal with reality. You need to be honest with yourself. Be honest about your mistakes, your flaws, your faults, so that you can overcome them, so you can move forward. Because see, when you talk about how do you overcome those barriers that stop you, one of the biggest barriers that stop you is you. Your biggest opponent is you. Not that person sitting on the other side of the desk. It's that person that looks back at you in the mirror. That's your biggest opponent. That's your biggest threat. And that opponent gets power when you don't be honest with yourself. Be honest about the mistakes you made. Be honest about the things you didn't do. The things you've done wrong. The things you need to do. Be honest with yourself. And understand, being honest with yourself don't mean you have to go to your enemy and tell them, look, I screwed up. I messed up. I made a mistake. I did this wrong. That's not what being honest means, is going by telling everybody your faults and your mistakes. Being honest with yourself is really simple. It's a conversation between you and yourself. That person in the mirror, and telling them, you got to get it together. Okay, you got to get past this. You got to let this go. Okay, you slipped. But understand, everybody slips. The other issue you have to do, my listeners, understand something. Your problems that you're facing today, those issues that you're dealing with, whether it's medical, financial, you got relationship problems, you got a problem with your job, you got a problem with your children, you got a problem with school, understand something. Unlike, or more, better yet, like success, those failures, those issues that you're dealing with, everybody has them. everybody. And you're not the only one dealing with those issues. You're not the only one dealing with those issues. See, just because somebody don't tell you that they're having financial issues, or they're having issues with their relationship, or they're having issues finding a job, don't mean they're not going through them. You got to understand, you're not alone. And just because you're going through something don't mean that you're the only one going through it and that there's something wrong with you. A lot of people are going through issues. It's just that most people would rather not broadcast their issues, and personally I think it's very clever not to broadcast your issues, because you have to be very careful of who you telling your problems to, because some people will use those same problems as ammunition to hurt you, not help you. But once again, we go back to the beginning. Find those people who are around you. It's going to help you find the right steps to success. It's going to help you turn them stumbling blocks into the building blocks. You understand? That's what you need to find. That's what you need to think about. Understand, your problems are not singled out to just you. A lot of people have issues every day. Everybody's experiences are different. Some people's issues are worse than yours. Some people's issues are not as bad as yours. Some people's issues are the exact same as yours. But that don't make somebody better or worse than you. And that don't say that you're a bad person. Okay, you may have made a few bad choices. But the question is, what are you going to do after you made those choices? What are you going to do then? You made the choices. Okay, you made a few bad decisions. What's your redemption look like? What's your plan for redemption? How are you going to overcome those issues? That's the question. I'm going to end this off by saying, listen, success isn't all our grasp. There are steps we need to make so that we can obtain success. Those steps are: eliminate people who are constantly telling you what you can't do. Eliminate people that's constantly telling you what you need to do. Eliminate people that's constantly telling you what you can do, but not giving you the information to help and assist you on getting success. Get out of your own head. Stop telling yourself that you can't do something, and learn how to motivate and inspire yourself. Not look for somebody else, but you. Remember, if you're going out for that job interview today, the job is already yours. That loan for that house is already yours. That car is already yours. You just have to not talk yourself out of getting it. That's it. If you're trying to get in a relationship, let your past relationships go. Learn from them, grow from them, move on from them, so you can be better for the person who you're in a relationship with now. And if that person is not right for you, if they don't share the same goals as you, let them go. Don't be afraid to let some things go. It's the things that we hold on to that hurts us more than things we let go. Let that rope go. It's burning your hands because it's telling you it don't want to be here no more. Think of that rope as that relationship that maybe somebody's telling you, let me go. Let it go. Move on. There's somebody else out here for you, and there's somebody that wants to be here for you, and that wants to help you achieve all your goals and that greatness that lies inside you. This is the Ordinary People Podcast, where we talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories. This is the Extraordinary Opinion segment, and I want to thank y'all for listening. I want to remind y'all once again to please like, share, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Alan the Great on YouTube. Also, if you have a question, you disagree with my opinion, or you want my opinion on something else, or you need advice or any such thing, remember, you always can email me directly. Ordinary People, the number 16, Ordinary People Podcast, the number 16 at gmail.com. If you don't want to email me or you want to talk to me faster or directly, Facebook, Alan Henry on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I'll accept you. You can inbox me, talk to me about what your problem is, ask me advice right on my wall. Also look out for you can also get opportunity to look out for Facebook Live videos where I might do a live Q&A and you could ask your questions live in real time and get answers in real time. Also, listen out for announcements of us going to iTunes, the podcast joining iTunes and Google Play Store real soon, as well as SoundCloud. The podcast is continuing to grow, and we would like y'all to grow with us. So please subscribe to the podcast right now on YouTube. Once again, the channel is Alan the Great. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm Alan the Great. Peace.